Hello again, and a happy November the 4th. Our verse today comes from Psalm 28, our Thanksgiving thought. Psalm 28, verse 7. I trust in the Lord with all my heart, and as my heart leaps with joy, I give him thanks. I give him thanks when my heart leaps for joy. This is a psalm where David is saying, I need your help. He cries for mercy at the front, at the beginning of this psalm, and he says, come on through for me, God. Don't let me be dragged down into the depths of death itself. He's feeling really, really low, and he feels like that he could turn himself over to do really terrible things if he doesn't have the rescue of God quickly, or at least come on, God, please come and help. He seems to be at that state, that crying for mercy. And then he says, God has rescued. He's deserving of praise. And that's when his heart leaps for joy. And he says, it's in that I'm going to sing this song of gratitude. I'm going to give this wonderful thanks to God. And so excited, so thrilled that God has come through. When I was little, I used to think, when I hear things like David say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He protects me. Even in this psalm at the very end, he says, just like a shepherd, hold us in your arms always. And I just always thought that meant nothing bad will really happen to me. Isn't that what protection is? And yet, David is kind of saying those words and longing for that kind of thing. But actually, how this starts is, I need your help. So it isn't going the way that David thinks it ought to go. And of course, it doesn't take very much living to recognize it doesn't go the way that we think it ought to go. The question is, who do we turn to for help? David believed that God was present. Remember we talked? And he believed he was a God that cared about David and what David was doing and the things that were happening in David's life. And so David could take these concerns directly to God. And what he says is, I have seen God come through and rescue him. And I don't know if it always turns out exactly the way that I was hoping that it would, but I can give a testimony to that. That through life, as things go in a way that you have no way of understanding or knowing, and David even says that in his psalm, it's just, you get caught, you can't figure this out, but you cry for mercy. Help me, God. And I have done that, and he has come through. Like I said, maybe sometimes a lot different than I thought, sometimes way, way better than I ever could imagine. And sometimes I say, well, I might could have done that a little different. But it is still that moment that you realize the mercy has come through, that your heart leaps for joy. It is in that you say, what or who am I thankful to because of that? Because it creates that sense of, I gotta express this somehow. And that's what David is saying. So in those moments, if you can look back, or even now, if you are in a situation, you say, I need your mercy, God, cry out to him. Cry out to him. And look back and see, when did things turn out, kind of better than I thought? And even if you didn't cry out to God at that time, I believe that God's working in our lives to bring about good. So, cry for mercy. Okay? Trust him with all your heart. And when things come through and your heart leaps for joy, give him thanks. Until tomorrow, I hope your heart is leaping for joy.